The story takes place in the summer of 1989. I had been divorced for 5 years and my son was living with me. We all know that single parenting is not easy, but I love my children deeply. Finally, it was the weekend again and it was a very nice day. My neighbor and I would often go out together. Her situation is similar to mine. She is also alone with her children. It has been like this for the past 6 months. We organize biking or hiking trips and today it was so hot that I suggested we go rafting. We were all very happy. We simply packed our bags. An hour later, we arrived at our destination. There were 6 of us and we rented 2 boats. Along the ramp we entered the river and started our adventure. Boating is a very pleasant thing to do in the summer heat. We soon came to the main river. I put my feet in the water and thought, this is the life. When we came to the first bend, the current became fast. We controlled our direction and speed and made it through the bend without any problems. We continued on through the river and that was it for over an hour. Next we hit an even worse bend and the boat hit a rock underwater. I fell into the water, the current became more and more turbulent. I couldn't control my body and the boat got further and further away from me. I came to deep water in the back. I was not in a very good state of mind because I had worked late both days before. The undercurrent began to engulf me. I struggled to get a breath of air. But I couldn't reach the surface and couldn't reach the boulders around me. It was at this point that I realized that I was about to drown. I made a last-ditch effort with my exhausted body to rise to the surface and fill my lungs with even a breath of air. However, all my efforts were to no avail. I was left alone in the darkness, slowly becoming calm around me, without the panic I had felt before, with only one thought, to give up the struggle and accept the fact. I felt it was a relief. In order to live, I worked 2 jobs. The money I earned was only enough to cover the normal expenses of my family. I am a strong woman. I do not want to show my vulnerable side in front of others. But only I know how hard my life is living. Suddenly I felt someone grab my clothes. Lifting me over my head, I left the water. I could feel the warmth of the sun, the soft breeze was comforting, and when I woke up I saw a very big tree. The breeze blew through the leaves as if the leaves were my fingers and I felt like I was part of the tree. All my senses were heightened, the colors brighter, the vision clearer, more defined. A bird began to sing in front of me and I could not only see and hear it, but I could also feel its joy. So much was happening around me. I don't have to turn around to see it, because I can see everything around me at the same time. I could also see what was happening down there at the same time. My son had just climbed out of the water, and I could see myself, and there she was, lying there, no longer breathing. It didn't seem to be too much of a problem for me. I had said goodbye to my old life. There were no feelings of pain or sadness here, only love and happiness. When I looked at my son again, he was seeking help from others. I felt like I was entering his body. I could see through his eyes, hear sounds through his ears, and feel the emotions he was feeling. And I was just a bystander. My son was wearing a life jacket so he was not in danger, and the neighbor's kids were safe. Now I had to go save my mom. These were her thoughts at the time. Then, I was back in my own world. Standing on the surface of the water. I heard a voice come from, "What do you want to do next?" I understood that I needed to make a choice. Choose a new way of life or go back to the way things were. I knew God was with me because I could feel His love. It was like the satisfaction of a child in its mother's arms. This feeling of love and happiness was so strong that I was torn as to what to do. No one forced me to choose this or that, and no one guided me. The matter was entirely up to me. I knew my son really needed me and knew how much I loved him. I reluctantly chose to come back and raise him the best I could. When I chose to enter my body again, I felt power in my body. Nothing could stop me from reaching the surface. Once I got there, I spit out the silt in my mouth and took a deep breath. My lungs hurt so badly that it felt worse than drowning. That's when the voice reminded me again, "Call out for help." Then I passed out. When I woke up again, I was admitted to the hospital. Over the next few days, the pain slowly subsided and I thanked God for giving me my life back and giving me the opportunity to be there for my son. I also shuddered to think of his life without his mother. I am grateful to have made the choice to do so. I also proved that God is who He is, that He is real, that He loves each and every one of us, and that He cares about the tiniest things on earth.